Well, what Grey Cup party would be complete without a steady supply of beer? Seems so Canadian, doesn't it? And it's hard to deny that beer factors somehow into our national psyche. Remember all those I Am Canadian commercials from a few years back? Well, we were wondering how much all of that is really based on reality and how much is myth. So here's what we found on tonight's beer-inspired Sunday 7.
Canadian beer. Canadian beer.
We rate about 16th or 17th worldwide. The leading beer drinkers in the world are the Czechoslovakians. The Czechs, on a per capita basis, drink 158 liters of beer. In Canada, we're about 68 liters. By comparison, our friends in the United States are 10th or 11th at 83 liters.
It's a myth that Canadian beer is actually stronger than American beer. A lot of people think that, but actually the origins of it is the way that the two countries have traditionally measured alcohol content. Canadians measure by volume, Americans measure by weight. By weight alcohol content comes in at a lower number than by volume alcohol content. So 4% alcohol by weight is equal to 5% alcohol by volume. So in actual fact, a standard Canadian beer, a standard American beer, pretty much the same alcohol content.
It's not really true that the Canadian beer industry is strong. Traditionally, it has been. It was a cozy little oligopoly for many years with Molson and Labatt's. But for the past 10 years, there's been no growth whatsoever in domestic beer production. What has been growing is both import sales and the value brand segment as part of Canadian beer production. Where Molson and Labatt have been very successful the past few years is by steadily increasing their prices, but that's created a vacuum into which the discount beer brewers, Lakeport, Breck, Big Rock, have climbed, and they've been steadily chewing away share from Molson and Labatt.
Canadians don't love Canadian beer as much as they used to. They still drink more Canadian beer than anything else, but Budweiser is now the #1 selling brand. Heineken is a huge seller. Corona is a huge seller. And part of the reason is that Canadian beer companies have done a terrible job at marketing. Molson Canadian hasn't really had a memorable advertisement since the I Am Canadian rant, and that was, what, 5 or 6 years ago?
I believe in peacekeeping, not policing. Diversity, not assimilation, and that the beaver is a truly proud and noble animal.
Every indicator shows that Canadians are drinking more foreign beer than ever before.
Beer drinkers who think that Canadian beer is necessarily better than American beer, well, it's a little patriotic, but unfortunately it's untrue. There are over 200 breweries in Canada now. There are over 1,600 breweries in the United States. Both countries are producing a wide variety of beers in Belgian styles, British styles, Indigenous Canadian American styles. So you can't really say that one country does better beer than the other.
It used to be in Canada that if someone started drinking one brand, they'd probably stick with it for life. In recent years, what's happened is that people tend to experiment more. So that what we're finding is that the drinkers will drink different brands depending on the occasion and where they are.
While there may be some components of beer that may have some health benefits in some people, overall, we don't have enough evidence to show that the benefit outweighs the risks that we know of alcohol.
Absolutely no question. The medical evidence shows that the moderate consumption of beer provides important health benefits, primarily in the reduction.
In point of fact, unpasteurized beer is fresh, it's full of vitamins, it's full of nutrients. They don't call beer liquid bread for no reason.
There's some interesting areas for study, but we're a long way away from saying that beer is good for you.
Thank you. That's clear. Now, please stay with us when we come back.